Thank you so much, Team Carpe. Thank you. Hi guys, it's Athena, and I'm here today to just share about Carpe Bloom, some Carpe history, and answer the most, top 4 DMs that I always get about Carpe Bloom. I mean, the top question is always, how did Carpe Bloom get started? So when I was 16 years old, I started Carpe Bloom. But the thing is, the genesis of Carpe Bloom came about when I was 15 years old. So when I was 15 years old in August, I started this online literary magazine called Paper Guts because I thought it was super edgy back then. And Paper Guts was actually a place purely for people who write literary stuff to kind of come on and house their work there. So I would actually go on Wattpad and like AO3 or LiveJournal and look at what other people, look at some authors that I really loved, and I would check out their profiles and kind of see what kind of work they usually wrote. And I would email them saying, do you want to try writing a poem, or basically experimenting with a genre that you haven't written in before, and I would love to feature it on Paper Guts. And that's what happened for a month. So Paper Guts had its first issue in September, and after that it just stopped. And the reason is because I had a good think about life, about many things at that time. I had a good think, as one does. Okay, basically I just had a think, and I was thinking that since everything is already housed online, there is more potential to this. I feel that I could serve the community more. I feel that I could go beyond a text. I could go beyond typed out text and really decide to share something that was multimedia like. So I could maybe find a space for photographers to work with poets and pair their work together in a sort of creative package. So that's what happened in January of my O-level year. So I hadn't turned 16 yet, but that was the year I was going to turn 16. That's why I keep saying 16 years old. So I started Carpe Bloom January 31st of that year. And its debut was an issue called Bright Beginnings, and it featured photography by myself. Oh god, that was bad. By a few people, and poetry by a few people as well, and I think around 1 to 2 prose pieces. And it was laid out, designed by myself and the person who was the design person at that time. And that was the beginning of Carpe Bloom, really, when I realized that I wanted to do more. I wanted to go beyond sharing someone else's writing in a typed out form, but really also highlight that stories could be told through different mediums. So there's this quote, right, that I really like. The quote is a fairly famous one. A picture tells 1,000 words. But I believe that if you pick the right words and if you pick the right image and you marry them together, then a picture and an image together can collaboratively tell more than 1,000 words. It can tell and unveil and capture someone's whole story, someone's perspective that is really valuable and inspirational. And that's why I started Carpe Bloom. Yes. So basically, the next question that I always get asked for Carpe Bloom is, what is the story behind the name? So Carpe Bloom sounds like Carpe Diem, and in fact, a lot of people DM me asking, oh, can I write for Carpe Diem? So it's Carpe Bloom, just like put it out there, it's Carpe Bloom. But okay, so the origins come from the name Carpe Diem. So you know how Carpe Diem means seize the day? Okay, you know that? I'm sorry for asking. Okay, but basically, so I swapped DM out with Bloom. I wanted to keep the idea of seizing something. And back then, so I grew up in America, and I watched like cable TV a lot. I watched like a lot of television shows, and there was always this phrase that the parents would tell the kid, honey, it's okay, you're a late bloomer. Like, your time will come later. And to me, the idea of waiting for a dream or locking it up for later on because someone else feels that your time will come later, or even using it as an excuse or a way to console yourself for not taking action now, to me, I kind of thought, what if I could try and work with that mindset and work against it. So telling people to not only seize the day, but really seize that period now where you're able to do so many things as a young person. You're able to go out and talk to people. You're able to improve yourself. You're able to work with, the powers of the internet and really just explore different courses, different ways of learning, different ways of designing, different types of art. That's the whole reason why I wanted to name it, English translation, Seize the Bloom. Seize this period right now where you can aspire to do anything and you can really work towards doing anything. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to convey. And I think in the context of Singapore, where it's very academically oriented, I also wanted to highlight how you can seize your youth, or you can seize this period of time now where you're experimenting with different things to really pursue a passion that is non-academic or maybe unorthodox, something to do with creativity maybe. So that's what I really wanted to convey, that you don't have to wait until a lot later, maybe when you have the time to do a side hustle, you can actually pursue something creative right now. And that is the case for a lot of Team Carpe. So for me, I chose to live the double agent life by, during my O-level year, I would come home at 7, finish studying around 9, 10, 11. I'm a good kid. So, and then after that, until like 5 a.m. the next day, I would be working on Carpe Bloom. And the thing is, a lot of people who are working with Team Carpe now, collaborators, the core team members, interns, we all kind of have our own lives going on. People are going to school, people have full-time jobs, people have, JC, poly, and things like that. But they find a time, and this is what amazes me, they find a time to work on Carpe Bloom, really just getting to the heart of creativity and working together with all the other team members to tell someone else's story. I think that's really the beautiful part of Carpe Bloom. Yeah, so that's for the name. That's the inspiration behind the name. Okay, so the next question is who can work in or for Carpe Bloom? So the whole idea about Carpe Bloom is that you don't have to be a professional, you don't have to be licensed or certified to come in and work with us. We don't discriminate based on qualification. In fact, we don't look at qualification. So what we do look at is whether you have a passion for example, creativity, or whether you're thinking of doing it, the reasons why you're thinking of pursuing a creative career, what you even think constitutes a creative career, and why you want to connect, and whether you have that empathy within you to tell someone else's story, to work with us to tell someone else's story and share someone else's perspective in a very creative manner. So that's really what we look out for. It's not about qualification or anything. Yeah, so for everyone who's been kind of like messaging me or messaging the social media team on Carpe Bloom's Instagram, like I don't have a BA in creative writing, or like I actually have just started out sketching. Can I still work for Carpe Bloom? You definitely can. Yeah. Okay, so very last question, that it's not a trick question. Okay, it's not a trick question. This is a question that I always get asked. So the question is, who started Carpe Bloom? Okay, so actually, a few people have been asking me, a lot of people started asking me this question when I was around 17 to 18, when I started aggressively promoting it on my Instagram. And the reason is because, again, I was taking O-levels, so I was 16 years old, and I did not have the courage to step up and say that this is my sort of publication right now. I really chose to live this sort of double agent life. So I would really keep it separate. I had a different email account because back then, young me thought that having a different email account would differentiate my public and private life. No, but like for real, I had a different email account, a different drive, and I would just have all these. So in the day, I would have schoolwork, I would clear all of that, I would have regular social gatherings, things like that. And then at night, 11 to 5 a.m., that would be the time where I would crack down on Carpe. I would work on Carpe, I would contact and have meetings with collaborators online at that time and things like that. And that was because I was a little bit insecure in stepping up to say that I was the founder of Carpe Bloom. Carpe Bloom is something that was very different from what a lot of people might have imagined that I ended up starting, because when I was younger, my primary sort of skill set or passion was in writing. And the thing is, that is still true because I'm a freelance journalist working for different Singapore and NYC media companies. But I do really love working with different digital platforms, which is why Carpe Bloom is a multimedia and not just a textual based kind of thing. But no one would have expected me to do it then because I didn't really exhibit any passion towards something fully artsy arts or something that had to do with digital design and stuff like that. I thought Carpe Bloom would serve as my first foray into that. Yeah, so that's why I kept it a big secret from everyone. Yeah, so to answer that last question, who started it? I did. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so those were the top 4 questions that I've been asked recently for regarding Carpe Bloom. And I just, at this point in time, I would just like to thank everyone who's really my friends, really all the random people who just come up and email and message and DM us, always just saying that they love reading about certain stories in the feed or certain stories on the website because someone's own message had actually resonated with them in a way that they hadn't expected it to. To me, that is the best feeling, that someone else poured out their heart or poured out parts of their heart and managed to fill a little bit of a hole in a reader's heart or a watcher's heart. And to me, that just makes me feel very glad that Carpe Bloom exists. I just feel glad that I could provide something that would resonate with other people and that would encourage them to start up their own things, to really pursue their own passions as well. Yeah, so that's all I have to say for Carpe Bloom. Thank you so much, Team Carpe. Thank you.